What up, fam squad? It is James with the last installment of these videos, solving the homework problems. We did it! The last two are fairly simple and straightforward, especially when compared to the looping through the object as well as using conditionals. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. This one says change your last name. Now, if we remember how to navigate through objects, we specifically use dot notation. And I want to point out real quick why we use dot notation for objects and why we can use the index for arrays. Objects are not defined by indexes. Anything inside of this object can be jumbled and come back in multiple different ways. For example, if you pull this back, name might not always be at the top. Date of birth might be in front of it. Height might be in front of it. So we can't just say me, which is the object. We can't just go ahead and say, that's so annoying, me at index 0, right? That would what we would assume to be name. We can't just do this because, as I said, they come back all jumbled. It's not an array. Every item in an array is giving a specific index. Excuse me. And until we jumble it up or mess with it, it's always going to be this object will be index 0, this object will be index 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So that's why we use dot notation. If we're fortunate enough to know the key that we want to get back, we can just type this in and it's going to give us the value associated with that key. So me.name is Andrew something or another, whomever this is. So if I wanted to go ahead and change the value of .name in this object, it's as simple as doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change me.name to James Schultz. I'm going to save it. And real quick, I'm going to just run this, and so you guys can still see that when I'm declaring the variable, it's going to still say Andrew. Now, if I console.log this again, after the change, right, then I should get something back different. Notice that Andrew is what I had before I came through and changed me.name to James Schultz. Again, name, me.name is going to give the value associated with whatever key you have. So if I were to console.log me.gender, I think, is that a thing? And I run it, cool, I spelled gender wrong. Gender undefined, fair enough. Touche, computer. Male. So I can also change these any way I want. And through variables, I can say gender equals cheese. And we can run this guy again. And now you'll notice that I've changed, in the purpose of this, I've changed the gender to cheese. Simple as that. So that's the answer to the first one. There's, I think, a few other ways to do this if you wanted to, but in its simplest form, using dot notation, we can go ahead and change me.name to James Schultz, and that's how I've changed the name property or the name key to a different value. Now, the second thing that we want to go over is add a family member. And again, based on in comparison to what we've been doing, this is fairly simple. So I'm going to uncomment this out because I've set this stuff up for you guys, and I'm going to remove that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and call a new person object. And if I notice in family members, everything in this array is an object. And when I set up my object, I'm going to set it up just like I have set up in these objects up here. To make it, I'm going to go ahead and put it in brackets, and I'm going to go ahead and use relation, name, age, and gender. Make sure that you put commas after every key and value pair that you're about to put into an object. That's just how we put them. It's how we just use objects. So what I've done here is I've created new person, right? And this makes sense. I've just made new person equal an object. And let's go ahead and do this real quick for you guys. Again, varfam is just accessing the value of this key family members. And this value is an array of objects. And we know how to add things into arrays. It's .push. So if I wanted to go ahead and if I want to go ahead and add my new object into that array, it would just be as simple as fam.push new person. And so I'm going to go ahead and log it for you guys. I'm going to log the entire object so you can see what's going on. So here's the object me. Everything seems to be the same. And I have added a new family member there. Like I said, it's as simple as just navigating through the object, knowing what you want, getting to a point that you're at where you want to manipulate it, and then knowing what you have to do to manipulate it. Super simple stuff. Let's go ahead and see this real quick for you guys so you can see all things that are happening in real time. Control K, and I'm going to run it. So if you notice, I've incorporated everything that we did in the beginning. I've changed the name, and I've changed my gender, and I've also added Jake the dog here into my family. Those are the answers to the homework problems. I will be making more videos like this in the future if you guys find it helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions, just hit me up on Slack.